Hardeer were the first critter approved by the Critter Research Institute for domestic ownership, and it's easy to see why. These cute little jackalopes are loyal critters and bond easily with researchers and the general public alike. Hardeer are well known for their speed and natural healing ability. Most minor scrapes and bruises find themselves scarce in the presence of this little Telluric rabbit. Drop on by your local CRI office and add a Hardeer to your roster today. Note, the Critter Research Institute is not responsible for any injury and/or death caused by critters. Critters are semi-sentient entities and have a will of their own. CRI, Natural Solutions for Unnatural Problems.
So, today we're talking about Hardeer. Hardeer is long overdue for a redesign, and today we're going to go ahead and give that to them. So let's take a look at the most important design element for a jackalope, the horns. Now, what are the horns of a jackalope? Well, they are, cancer. Yeah, that dropped the mood really quick. That's kind of something that happens when you research cryptids. The deeper you go, the sadder some stuff gets. Jackalopes in real life are the result of people sighting wild hares with Shope papillomavirus. SPV in hares is transmitted through insect bites, and is only contagious to other rabbits or hares. The disease manifests in cancerous growths emerging from the crown region of the rabbit's head, which often resemble horns or antlers in the most extreme cases. Now, the good news is that these growths are oftentimes not harmful to the rabbit, though their growth can often impede other aspects of the rabbit's life, such as eating or burrowing, which will result in eventual harm to the rabbit. SPV is treatable, however, and the growths can be surgically removed by a professional. Please do not go chopping off rabbit horns in real life. In critter country, those suckers grow back, so go for it. Hardeer's inspiration is the jackalope, of course, but specifically, Hardeer represents a domesticated rabbit with notes of deer. And as Hardeer adapts further down the Telluric line, we see it begin to lean into the antler motif, taking on more and more aspects of deer and other ungulate species. This transition from Leporidae to Cervidae is the core of what adaptation in critter country is about. Small ideas taking on grandiose forms, and sometimes overtaking the thing that it is a part of itself. Okay, so maybe I got a little too poetic there, so let's move on to the next topic. Quirks. Or more specifically, where the hell did they go? Well, let's talk about that. Quirks were a system in critter country, of which the main goal was to create a system that made every critter useful in an adaptation regardless of whether it matched species or not. The way that it used to work was, adapting into the same species allowed you to keep your ability or passive. This was referred to as a hereditary adaptation. Adapting into the same type would allow you to utilize the quirks at the bottom of the card. Quirks would increase stats depending on the number of symbols present on the card, which would be turned upside down and placed under the card that you're adapting into. While this provided some interesting possibilities in deck building, ended up being completely overshadowed by the main mechanic of the game, hereditary adaptation. Because passives exist, all quirks really did was separate stat-based enhancements and relegate this to the system, which decreased in scope the more I began to balance it. Thanks to the feedback of a good friend in the Indie Card Lab server, shout out to the folks in our little community, I realized that I had actually limited my design space by creating the quirk system. I realized this after about 2 months more of playtesting, combating my own ego, and an entire YouTube video explaining how quirks work, but hey, you can't win them all. So here we are. No quirks. Every critter has one ability or passive. Legos, not puzzle pieces. Build your own critter, for better or worse. Alright, so we're going to round off this video with a kind of announcement. I'm going to be entering into a game jam this Friday for the Rival Spirit Games server, and I'll be documenting the entire process from start to finish. If possible, we're going to try and keep it within the Critter Country universe, but we'll have to see what the theme shapes up to be. For the last game jam I did for this server, I concocted a little game called Soul Rise, which you can actually see showcased here in a card game crit video. Holy crap. Which was a cool little roguish dungeon crawler where you build a dungeon yourself before hunting down your opponent. I'll link that one down below if you have Tabletop Simulator and want to give it a try. And I hope that someday I can actually release that one. So stay tuned for more on that. We will see you at the end of the week for whatever happens with this game jam. So stay safe out there, folks.